Hey everyone, we have a special show today. I have Coach Hickman from West Orange Stark joining me. Thanks for joining us, Coach.
Yeah, good. Good to see you. Nice to meet you. Glad you have the opportunity to have me on.
Coach, before we delve into the bigger questions, to give us a little bit about your background, tell us, where you came from as far as coaching and playing, and like, just a little bit about yourself on a personal level.
Well, I grew up in Silsbee, Texas, and played ball at Silsbee, and was fortunate enough to go out to Abilene. I played football at McMurray University. Had a great time out in West Texas. Loved my time my time there, and then I went back to Silsbee in 1999 and became the defensive line coach until 2008, where I became the defensive coordinator there. I was the defensive coordinator at Silsbee to 2015 when I came over to West Orange Stark. I got a real good background when it comes to coaching on the defensive side and just being in it for now 22 years. And I've had some experiences to go along with that. I'm fortunate enough to be here when we won the state championship and to be here when we lost the state championship. Had some really good teams when I coached at Silsbee. And I've been in the area. I know the area well. And, it's good to be here at West Orange. And I think everything I've done in the past has led up to me being here in this position.
Now, one thing a lot of people may not understand was as being the head coach for West Orange Stark, you're also the athletic director, which means that not only are you like planning the plays for the week for Friday night, you're also you're also in charge of making sure that the other teams are running smoothly. Uh, for those of you who are watching, we have a new puppy that apparently wants to ask a few questions as well.
Yes, yes.
But being the athletic director means that not only do you call the plays on Friday night in football season, but you
Mhm.
also are responsible for all the athletics that go on at West Orange Cove. How do you balance those two hats?
And that's one of the things, Michael, that I've had to get used to in this role. It's just not coaching football. You got to hire, volleyball coaches, softball coaches. You got to make sure all the junior high sports are getting the right attention, that everybody's taken care of from the seventh grade to the 12th grade. Having to be, make sure you got ticket takers at the gate for the underlevel games. You got to make sure, we got tickets sold for Friday, make sure the stadium's prepared. Um, that's one thing, one of the biggest adjustments I've had to make being the athletic director is there's just so much on my plate. The other day, we go to Hampshire to play a game and, I'm on the bus dealing with an incident that took place at one of the volleyball games, and you got parents calling on a Friday. You're getting ready for a Friday night football game, and they want to talk about what happened with their baby Thursday night at the seventh grade volleyball game. So it's just a matter of having to balance, all that with the football part, and that goes back to hiring a good staff and having good offensive defensive coordinators that can help take care of the football stuff when I'm not there, so I can take care of the other things.
You said that you've actually been at West Orange for a number of years, but this is your first year as the head coach. Now, what are some goals that you have as head coach? Every coach, especially one for West Orange with its history, but every coach likes to like make adjustments or change things for the better or just to make improvements. What are some things that you're working on to make West Orange not only a great football school, but somewhere that develops athletes as well?
And that's one of the things that I went to the board with when I got the job was that we wanted to bring some support staff to help promote our athletes in other areas and develop athletes. One of those areas is that I hired a full-time strength and conditioning coach that trains our kids from the seventh grade, from the 12th grade, boys and girls. A guy by the name of Corey Bell. He's a West Orange alum. I think he graduated in like '07. He's came back and he handles all that strength and conditioning. He goes down to the middle school several days a week, and we train our girls, we train our boys down there to get them acclimated to what they're going to be doing when they get here to the high school. And that's one of the things that you got to do. You got to develop those kids early to get them prepared for when they get to us. So this is going to put us ahead when it comes to that side of the game. And also on the other side of that, I was able to hire a full-time academic coordinator. woman by the name of Bunny Perry, and what she does is it's pretty much like what Corey does. From the 7th grade to the 12th grade, we monitor all our athletes. We monitor our athletes academically. If they're falling behind in the classroom, she spends the entire day doing that. That's all she does. Matter of fact, the first 6 weeks here at the high school, we had 100% pass rate, pretty much for athletics. That's just not football. Everybody say, "Oh, well, the football players," but no, that's all the other sports as well. We might have had a couple guys that quit some other sports that got out that may have failed, but the people that were participating in actual athletic sports right now, they all passed the 100%. The middle school was right there at about 90%. So, and that's one of the things, like I say, I'm trying to bring to the table. We're trying to create a well-rounded athlete, academically, physically, and of course, here at West Orange Stark, the standard is to win and to win big. And we want to do that in all sports, not just football. We want to do it in basketball, volleyball. We want to try to participate in all sports and be successful. And that's what I want people to know. That's what I want to do here. I want to have a well-rounded athletic program here at West Orange.
And on the part is like building athletes. If there was somebody that's a fifth grader or sixth grader that
Mhm.
looks at the possibility of playing one of the sports at West Orange, basketball, football, whatever, and he came to you and said, or she came to you and says, "What do I need to be a success at West Orange when I get to the high school?" What kind of advice would you give them?
Well, everything starts in the classroom. You want to come out, we're going to take care of business in the classroom academically, prepare yourself academically. The athletic side, will help you with that. When you get to the 7th grade, like I say, with our strength and conditioning program, we will try to help develop athletes to get them prepared for when they get to the high school. And I tell parents as well, people go out and spend money on special coaches to specialize in different sports and this and that. And there's nothing wrong with that. I encourage that. It's your kid, invest in your kid. We just want them to know when they get here, we're going to be doing the same thing to develop them as they are. So, yeah, a young kid, I would tell them, hey, prepare yourself academically and physically to get ready because we're going to challenge you when you get into our district.
Suppose you had a 10th, 11th grader, someone, just one of your students, came to you and says, "Coach, I want to be a coach one day. What should I do?"
Well, first of all, you better have some tough skin because you're always going to be criticized. If you worry about people criticizing and questioning what you do, coaching is not for you. But I recommend coaching, to anybody. You hear those sayings that coaches impact more lives than any other profession out there because we spend more time, we see more kids. And I tell my team all the time, I spend more time with them than I do my own family. So I have that power to have some impact on them, and I'll tell them, hey, it's one of the most impactful professions that you could possibly ever get in. And like I say, there's also going to be some people going to question your judgment sometimes, but hey, you have an opportunity to impact tons and tons of lives when you get into coaching and teaching.
And to draw off of that, at what point did you decide that coaching was for you?
Well, I decided I was about in the 11th grade, and I had a coach, my head coach in high school, was a guy by the name of Charlie Woodard, one of the greatest men I ever met. Probably he probably influenced me more than anybody other than my own father. He was my high school coach. He was more than a coach to me. He was there for me in high school. He's been there for me in some of the toughest times of my life, and I just idolized that guy, and for some reason it just stuck to me. And I said, you know what, I want to be a coach. I want to be part of this. And I went play ball, and I was around a lot of coaches, and I just liked the way coaches went about things. I've been fortunate enough to be around some great coaches. I've been around Coach Woodard, I've been around Coach Thompson, and Coach McGallion at Silsby, all these guys influenced me to want to be what I am today.
And as your first season as head coach for West Orange, you're currently 4-4 for the season and 2
Hmm.
and 2 in district.
Hmm.
Now, you can still win district, and what would you have to do? You still can make the playoffs. What would you have to do to make the playoffs?
Well, looking at it, with us winning the other night, we go to Jasper Friday, and possibly, we go to Jasper Friday. If we win the game against Jasper by more than 5 points, which the tiebreaker is 5+5 for Hampshire Finette +5 for Jasper. If we win by more than 5 points, we can go from the fourth seed to the two seed. And that's winning the last game against Hardin Jefferson. On the flip side of that, if we don't beat Jasper Friday, we have to go beat Hardin Jefferson, and we'll probably end up in the fourth seed, and have to play a first place team out of the district that borders up with us. So basically, we got to win one of these last two to get in. If we win them both and we win them like we want to win them, we can go from the fourth to the two seed.
What are some ways that, if you were talking to anybody that was in the district, what are some ways that they can get out there to support Mustang athletics?
Well, come out, see what we got going on. If you got kids in the program, your kids will probably inform you of all the things that we're doing to try to promote them. We've put out some great, we have a great media lady, Dawn Martin. She does a great job of promoting the programs here. We just dropped a video the other day, 27 hours of a Mustang football player, that turned out great. That's been floating around. If you hadn't seen it, it kind of describes and shows what we've been doing, here in this program. And in promoting the program, it shows our upgrades and facilities, talks about what I talked about earlier with the different coordinators and how we're going about things, in the district. And just come out and support us. And it's about the kids. People say things on things like social media and things like that. And the only thing I got to say about that is that kids can read, and sometimes people don't understand the power of words. The power of words. Sometimes kids see things, hear things, it begins to make them question things. um and I would say, hey, just be positive. Just be positive. We're doing what we need to do to be successful, and I think you just hang in there and things will be fine. We're going to trust the process, continue doing what we're doing. We feel like we're doing things the right way, and I think it's going to work out in the end, Michael.
And on that note, Coach, let's see, are there any last words before we end our interview?
um No, I think I'm good. I think I'm good. Go Mustangs.
Oh
Support the
yeah,
Mustangs.
Coach, we will definitely be rooting for you this coming Friday, and you are welcome anytime to come back on the show. Hopefully, it will be like during a playoff appearance.
Yes,
But
yes, yes.
I definitely enjoyed this talk, and I'll try not to hold the fact that you beat our team in my senior year.